for the best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we've got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
And what we refer to as low overhead country is actually Frontier Motors, located at 230 Beverly Parkway. And you are cordially invited to be a part of our radio show today. If you would like to give us a call, you have a question about the price of a car or a truck or an SUV that you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in, call 478-3116, and you will, as if by magic, be connected to our two hosts here. I refer, of course, to Ron Schneider and Ivan Streckel. Good morning, gents.
Hey, Don. Thanks so much for the introduction. And we are sitting here one more time bringing you the Frontier Motor Show. And it's a great time to be in Florida in the middle of February. I just feel sorry for the people in Boston. But this is the Frontier Motor Show double format. And what that means is that we are live on the radio, 1370 AM radio, the oldest talk radio station, AM station in Pensacola. And we are also broadcasting this on cable and satellite for our Blab TV customers.
I noticed that Don, am I on the microphone? Yeah, there I am.
Working good.
I noticed that you took a little extra time there. Are you trying to get a little more camera time now?
Trying to, yeah. I figure the more the better. And impress the grandkids when I can.
That was the famous Don Parker from WCOA. You catch him every morning, Monday through Friday, right? Monday through Friday?
That's correct.
At what time?
Yeah, we can start at 5 a.m. and go till 8 a.m. with our morning show.
All right, well, here we are, Frontier Motors. You know, the last time we were on here, Ivan, we made a little cry for help. And the cry for help was that we needed some good quality used cars out there. And if you're a listener, you're a TV watcher, and you're thinking about selling your car, we have a great system at Frontier Motors set up for us to buy your car. In other words, we have people ready and waiting. We have sales managers, Keisha Streckel, Todd Gordon, Monroe Watley, the famous Monroe Watley from all the grocery stores.
Famous.
He's actually there to help us buy cars, and we need some cars. We're actually 305 cars strong at Frontier Motors today. We'd like to be somewhere around 330, 340. So if you're watching television today or listening to the radio, we need a few extra cars. Just bring it by 230 Beverly Parkway. Drive up, bring your car. We'll analyze it. We'll put our little meter on there. We'll take it for a drive. We'll come back, and we'll give you something in writing that's good for 7 days.
And we can do this in approximately 15 minutes. So the reason this might be very important for you is not just for the people that want to sell their car and be done with it, but also very important for the people that are going to go to Car City or maybe Navy Boulevard looking at a brand new car. There's 23 new car dealerships in our area. So if you're going to buy a brand spanking new car, bring us the trade-in. Let us appraise it for you. That way you've got some ammunition that when you do go back to the new car dealer, and let's just say hypothetically that you've already worked out your best possible deal where you know that the price of the car is up here, they've discounted to here, you got yourself your rebate, and then that's a fair deal, and then you toss them the keys for yours. Well, if we appraised the car for $15,000 and they appraised the car for $12,000, that's going to give you some ammunition and say, nope, I'm not taking $12,000. The guys over at Frontier said they go to 15, so you either sell us the car or you trade it in there and force that used car manager to go to $15,000. If he doesn't want to do that, you can still purchase the new car from the dealership and then go ahead and trade it for $15,000, and we'll just buy it directly from that dealership for $15,000. So everybody gets the best of all the worlds.
And what we're trying to do here on the radio and television is we're trying to make it a little less complicated for you. One of the major things that we do at Frontier Motors every day is we try to make it less complicated. And how do we do that? We bring you information. And that's what Ivan's doing today. That's what I'm doing today. We're bringing you as much information about how to appraise a car. In front of him right now, he has, and we're willing to share with you, the NADA guide, the Black Book guide. The Black Book guide's always been the secret guide. We'll share it with you. And also a look into the Manheim Market Report, which is the largest auto auction in the world. We'll share you these numbers, and we'll be able to do that. I think Don might even have a call. Let's see if Don's got a call.
I do. This is Robert on the line.
Hey, Robert, how can we help you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning. I have a Ford Ranger that I've been thinking about trading in for a new or slightly used Jeep. And I thought I'd throw that out there to see what you guys can help me with.
What year is it, Robert?
Pardon me?
What year?
What year?
It's 2011 Ford Ranger. It's the sport model.
Is it the King Cab or the Quad Cab or regular cab? It's King Cab.
It's the big cab.
All right. And do you know what model it is? They make like an XLT, an XL, and some of those?
It's a sport.
Sport, okay.
Hold on, I'm
Sport
getting there.
King Cab V6 or 4-cylinder, Robert?
B6.
V6. All right, so we got that just about. Now, in your King Cab, does the doors open in the back or not?
Yes.
Okay, great. Because they do make what they call a 2-door version and a 4-door version.
Right.
I'm going to let Ivan take a look at it. Did you buy it brand new, Robert?
I bought it. I'm the second owner. It was certified used when I bought it.
Great, great.
How many miles?
36,000.
Ooh, that's a nice low mileage.
Yeah.
Everybody watching television on their show and everybody listening to radio is going to say, I want that truck.
And I'm assuming it's automatic. You said you've got the fourth door. Pretty much. And is it a 6-cylinder?
Yep.
It is.
Yeah, okay. And, well, let's go. I'm going to try to do both books for you, Robert,
Okay.
because sometimes the books are real close, which means that I can give you a very accurate idea, and sometimes they're far apart, which makes it a little bit more difficult to appraise the vehicle. That means more research has to be done. The Ranger is not the easiest vehicle to appraise because they're somewhat, and I don't want to say that's a bad thing, discontinued, but the good thing is the fact that there are people still looking for this vehicle. So it's a pretty good selling vehicle, and I'm not sure they're going to change the body style next year, but right now it's pretty much over with. And it looks like to me that the books are pretty close. They're all only off by about $1,000. When I use the NADA books, which is going to be very important if you decide to sell the vehicle yourself and not trade it, it has a full retail of $18,000. So that's what the banker is able to finance on it. The loan value, which is about wholesale, which is supposed to be wholesale, is $13,800. Just let's round that off at $14,000. So you've got about a $4,000 swing from wholesale to retail. But I do notice that at the auction reports, they're actually going for a little bit more than wholesale, which puts the wholesale value at about $15,000, and that should be your trade-in value if you decide to trade. Let's just say hypothetically, come to Frontier Motors, you pick out a brand new F-150, let's say a 2015 F-150, you get a good deal on it, and then you toss the keys. You should be getting about $15,000 wholesale for your car. If you sell it yourself, it'll probably bring somewhere between $16,500 and $17,000.
So, how about lightly used Jeeps? Is that anything you guys currently have? In
Absolutely. That's an easy vehicle for us to get. I think we've got a 13 model, two 13 models on it. Might have a 14 on the lot.
Oh, look right now. I got 8 Jeeps actually. I got 8 Jeep Wranglers. I got 8 Jeep
two Wranglers. I think.
And we got 1, 2, 3 Wranglers.
Yeah, so that's something that, and also, if you've ever listened to our show, Robert, is that one of the things that we do is, let's say that, for example, we've got a 2013 Sahara. I think we've got one with like 6,000 miles on it, but it's black. So let's say you said, well, I really like the vehicle, it's beautiful, but I don't want a black one, I want a white one. So what we do is we'll give you the pricing on the white one, tell you what we can give you for your trade-in, and then give us maybe a week to 2 weeks to find that exact vehicle for you. And of course, you can use that price and compare it to, I think our local dealership is Hill Kelly, so you can compare that to a brand new one and see what the gap is. And I always tell people, if the gap's only about $2,000 or $2,500, I'd go buy a brand new one. You know, you're starting off from scratch. But if the gap on a 6,000 mile one is, let's say, 4,000 or 5,000, then we might be able to persuade you to buy one of ours.
Right. Okay.
All right.
So I should probably come down and see you guys.
Thanks. Yep, it'd be worth it. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for calling the show.
Those are good important things, Ivan, what you're talking about. Now, the gap could get bigger because even
Much
though,
bigger sometimes.
let's say, for instance, the gap is only $2,500 on the new one compared to the used one, but our trade appraisal was $1,500. All of a sudden, that goes up to a $4,000 gap. So it really has a lot to do with the appraisals, just like you talked about earlier, going and visiting a dealer, picking a car, having it appraised already by us, knowing what you're going to do. Now, the other thing that Robert we didn't really ask, of course, we try to get everything we can in a 30-minute show, but let's say, for instance, he had this Ford Ranger, and he wanted to trade even. I really like my Ranger, but I want a Jeep. What can you guys find for that kind of money? And that's something else we can do, no matter what he wants. If he has a $5,000 budget, we'll take that $5,000 budget and price it out and use these numbers. Use the same program that we're actually using on the air here for our viewers and for our listeners. Use the same program, the Black Book, the NADA, and the Manheim Market Report, because like Ivan said in the call we had, there's sometimes a gap of $1,000. Who's right? Who's wrong? Well, then you turn to what they call Price Driver. And Price Driver is what people are asking for them around us. I think we're included in 26 different dealers around our area, and you can make that spread from 150 miles to 500 miles to see if it's true. That just helps us take all that anxiety out of you trying to buy a car sometimes because, again, as I said, at Frontier Motors, information, information, information.
And the Wrangler that we have, for example, is a 2013 Wrangler four-wheel drive Unlimited Sahara, which means it's a 4x4, and it's a four-door, and it has a hardtop. It's got 6,000 miles on, so I know that's one of the vehicles, and we just took another one in trade. I think that was a 2012 model. We do carry a lot of vehicles that are very close to new, and I would consider ourselves the alternative to a new car, that if you're going to buy a brand new one, and I'll give you a couple of examples real quick. We already have a 2015 Chevy Malibu. So if you're going to buy a brand new Malibu, we've got two great dealers. You got Pete Moore and Sandy Sansing. So you compare it at their dealership to a brand new one. We have one with 1,000 miles on it, and you would compare it at Frontier Motors to see how much can we save you on ours with 1,000 miles. And we also have that same program with a Toyota Prius. We have a Prius V, which is the large Prius. It's almost like a bigger wagon type Prius. It's got 2,000 miles on it. We have a Honda Civic with 2,000 miles on it, a Chevy Corvette Stingray with 2,800 miles on it, a Lincoln MKC, which is their small, newer type sport utility they just came out with. It's got 2,000 miles on it. We have multiple Hyundai products. So if you're going to buy a Hyundai, you go see our friend over at Alan Turner and give them your business. If you compare it to one that's got 2,000 miles on it, we've got 3 or 4 of them in stock that have 2,000 miles on them, which you would compare to a brand new one. And the worst that we could do is tell you what to pay. We have the new car cost guides at the dealership that gives us the retail and the invoice of any brand new car. And of course, the other feature that we will also help you with is the fact that we will appraise your trade-in. So let's say you are going to go buy a brand new one, and no matter what we do, we can't talk you out of it, even if we save you $5,000 or $6,000. Some people say, hey, I've got the money, I can afford a brand new car. Well, that's fine. We're not going to get mad at you. But at that point, what we'll do is tell you, here's what we'll write you a check for. In this case, let's just say with Robert, let's say he brings us the Jeep, and we say, hey, we'll pay you $15,000 for your Jeep. And you go over to the dealer, and the dealer of your choice only gives you $13,000. Well, just sell it to us. Everybody's happy. Or trade it in, and we'll buy it right from that dealer.
If you're looking for Frontier Motors on the web, you would go to frontiermotorsinc.com. Frontiermotorsinc.com. If you're trying to find out some of those 306 cars I talked about, they'll be on there. Most of them should be, probably about 290 of them. Some of those coming in take about 2 or 3 days to get on there. But there's 20 to 30 good pictures. There's a lot of good descriptions. Follow the pages all the way down. And the reason I say that is it gives you a lot of safety ratings, a lot of fuel mileage ratings, a lot of things that you may not look for in some used cars. But if you're looking for some of that stuff, all information all the way down the page. And then you can look at the pictures. The other thing is if you have any more questions about that particular vehicle, you can email us at sales@frontiermotorsinc.com and ask those questions. There's a link right out there on the webpage. And ask maybe one of the salespeople to go out and get you a video of the car or get you some more close information. Or, hey, where did that car come from? One of the things that we take pride in is if we take a trade-in or if we buy a car off the street, we try to take a trade report on where, when, how, and how that car was taken care of. If the car was bumped 4 years ago somewhere, we want to know how the bump happened or what happened to it. Doesn't make it a bad car. I don't know if the car had $15,000 or $20,000 worth of damage. That might make it a bad car. Not really, really sure, depending on how expensive of the vehicle. But all of those things are kept at Frontier Motors, and you can contact us through the website of frontiermotorsinc.com. I found that quite interesting, especially the number one car. You're looking at some ratings that came off of Kelley Blue Book.
Kelley Blue Book just came out with the most resale value honors, which is good if you're buying a brand new car. Obviously, if you buy a used car, what we're trying to do is get you to buy one with bad depreciation so we can sell it for you for less money. But the cars with the best resale value in a brand was Subaru.
That was the best overall.
Yeah, we got a great dealer right here in Billy Anderson Subaru right on 29. So if you're going to buy a Subaru, you go see him. Again, we do carry Subaru used models. Even some 2014s and 15s are available. Luxury brand, everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's a given.
It's a Lexus. Lexus has the best resale value of any luxury brand. If you go by category, the small subcompact, the Honda Fit. If you go with a plug-in, the Porsche Cayenne SE Hybrid. Now, can you believe that? That's a very expensive car. One. It's got the best resale values of Porsche. Compact car, again, a Subaru Impreza. Crossover utility has for years, and this is really weird, because Subaru, I'm going to say, the Consumer Reports hates a Jeep Wrangler.
Right.
They say it's not a good vehicle.
Right.
The best resale value overall,
right,
number one, Jeep Wrangler. They don't care what people think. We have other things also. The best luxury cars, the LS460. And folks, if you are looking for a Lexus, and we're talking about the best luxury car resale value is a LS460. Well, the funny thing about it is we have a 14 model in stock with 3,000 miles on it. We can save a customer almost $7,000 off the price of a new one. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. They must be going on a percentage basis, because $7,000 for 3,000 miles to me seems like a pretty big depreciation. And it's telling you that's the lease. So can you imagine what a different model would be, whether it be a Mercedes or BMW, other Highline car? They depreciate even more, of almost $8,500 in savings on a car that's not even 7 months old.
Let's talk about trade-ins. You get that. Everyone was talking about you get a trade-in, you get a better value, you go to the new car dealer. When we were in new car dealerships, I remember as a new car salesman down at Malden Ford downtown. I used to be at Malden Ford downtown, and we were talking about a little bit on the radio last week, and you would get a customer, you would get them to sell them a nice LTD, and you do everything.
LTD,
yeah, remember those LTDs?
Yeah, Ford LTD.
Ford
sure,
LTDs,
I own one.
yeah. Or Ford Thunderbird, and that's they made them. And then you'd sit down, you get them sold, and they're happy, and their wife's happy, and the kids are happy, and then you come over to your desk and say, "We got a trade-in," and you go, "Oh no, I got to visit the used car manager. Oh no, I got to go over there and put up with this." And I think it's completely different in this era, because Frontier Motors looks as an advantage that if you have a trade-in, put the correct amount of money in a trade-in, because now you're helping us basically with a two-car deal. I get to sell you a good quality used car. If you're trading me a good quality used car, that's an opportunity for another sale. We just had one of the sales turn into actually 4 sales. We had a dually. The guy traded a 3/4 ton on the dually. The guy traded a 1/2 ton on the 3/4 ton, and we sold, and then he traded in a Cavalier on the truck. So now we have 4 cars off of one sale. So when you come to Frontier Motors, you're going to see them that it's much, much better. It's we look forward to having trade-ins. Matter of fact, at the beginning of the show, we sent a plea out. If you're out there going to sell your car, going to list your car on Craigslist, before you do that, you come to Frontier Motors. If you're going to put on cars.com auto trader, come to Frontier Motors. See what we can give you. See how much different that margin is. If that margin's real slim, sell it to us. If you still want to try, more power to you.
And if you decide to sell your car yourself, you can stop in at Frontier Motors, and instead of paying $40 for a Carfax report, and you don't have one on your own car you're trying to sell, let's say you're going to put it on Craigslist or something like that, stop in with the car, and what we're going to do is we're going to scan the ID number. This can be done in 15 minutes. We're going to scan the ID number. We're going to print out the history report for you so you can share that with your prospective customer, and that way you don't have to pay for one. We actually do 2 of them for you. We do the Carfax and the auto check. Those are the largest 2 history providers in the nation. We subscribe to both of them, so we can get that for nothing for you. And the other thing that pops up when we put it in our computer system, we actually do this by phone. We scan it with our smartphone. It goes right to our computer, and then the computer will spit out the pricing as far as what they're selling for. And Ron had mentioned a term called Price Driver. It's a really kind of a cool tool that we subscribe to that tells us if you've got a car that you're selling, every car within 150 miles, just like yours, what they're asking for them, the high and the low and the middle, so you'll know where you should be pricing your car at. And who knows, maybe while you're at Frontier Motors getting that free Carfax, maybe we can make you an offer on that car and might save the headache of putting on Craigslist. And I read in the newspaper, Ron, over and over again. I actually still read the newspaper. I know that's almost like dinosauric or prehistoric because most people get their news online these days, but I actually still open up the paper and read it. And I do read probably once or twice a month, even in our area here in the Pensacola area, I read about scams going on with the Craigslist thing where people come over and they get robbed or there's some issues with it. It gets a little scary when you put your car on Craigslist and somebody comes over at 6 o'clock at night. And I still think even right now, it's pretty dark at 6 o'clock at night. I'd be a little bit nervous about having somebody come over. So the alternative would be to get that information from us and just have us write a check for the car and you're completely done.
We actually do sell cars at the beginning of the show.
You're
I said
kidding
we're
me.
305 cars strong right now at Frontier Motors, and a lot of good quality, a lot of good selection. If you're looking for an SUV, 61 SUVs in stock. Our pickup truck, Ivan's done an excellent job of getting more pickup trucks. We're almost at 70 pickup trucks. I'm talking small trucks, but large trucks. We have 2 Harley-Davidson trucks. We got a Dodge diesel, just a good array of trucks. We have 2 motorhomes, if anybody's looking for a deal on a motorhome. And the only reason we would trade a motorhome in, it was a deal. So if you're looking for a deal, we're not in the motorhome business, so they're great, great deals. And then you go back to financing. Financing is awesome. We know that. If you're a member of the credit unions out there, you know how good the rates are. I know that they're sneaking up. I was it was interesting to hear that I had a phone call from one of the credit unions that I belong to, and they were offering 4.5. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I've just seen some of them at 3.9. So I think they're sneaking up a little by little, but there's such good rates out there, such great terms. We had a customer the other day who had been a member at a credit union for 18 years, went there to buy the car we had. It only financed it 48 months. We found a rate that was a quarter point better and got him 12 more months, and it lowered his payments exactly what he needed to get in his budget, almost $47. So it worked real well. So if you're out there, use your credit union, you love them, we love them too. Penn Air, Navy Federal, they've all done us great. They've all put us on the map. But if you want to be competitive right now, we have BB&T Bank, we have Wells Fargo Bank, we have Fidelity National Bank, Harvesters, Penn Air in-house. So we can be competitive, and it is very, very competitive in rates right now.
And the numbers are in. January's over with. The number one selling vehicle in January. What do you think, Don? Number one selling vehicle.
My line here.
Yep.
How about the Ford F-150?
You got it. 54,000 F-150s. 54,000. Now, they kill Chevy Silverado number 2 with 36,000. And the number 3 vehicle, again, like it was for all of last year, this is very unbelievable. The Dodge Ram truck. Not Dodge, but just the Ram truck, they call it now. 28,000. So the top 3 spots, again, were pickup trucks. And it doesn't seem people are not getting enough pickup trucks. Isn't that weird? We have 70 in stock, and we probably don't even have enough.
Right. Yeah, we'll sell a lot of most of those in 1 month. Absolutely.
Right after the Ram, the Corolla, the Camry, the Altima, the CRV, the Accord, then the Ford Escape and the RAV4. So almost all of them, other than the pickup trucks and the Escape, were imports.
Yeah. Ram even has a new dial now. You don't even put it into drive. You don't do this. You just dial it.
Really?
Yeah, dial it. I saw it in 2014.
I wonder if they're going to go to push button. Remember the old ones? They had a couple of Falcons where you actually pushed a button.
No, they had the Dodge products and Chrysler products had the push button dash. Yeah, but these are just dial. You put park to reverse and nothing else. And you cannot put it, for instance, if your child's sitting in there, they can't grab it and put it into reverse while you're driving down the road. As the RPMs are up and the car is moving, it cannot be changed. So it's pretty cool.
It's a good safety feature.
Good safety feature.
If you need to know the diminished value of your car, we're going to touch on it real quick. We got about 7 minutes left. The diminished value is the value of your car after it's been in an accident, and I would have to say a moderate or major accident. Don't call us for diminished value if you have a minor accident. It's not going to really matter if it's minor. But if it's moderate, which would be, I would consider moderate, 5,000 above, the value of your vehicle is going to be diminished. And if you have been in an accident that was not your fault, you are entitled to diminished value. Ron does a really good job. He actually has a form that he'll help you fill out. And you can go back to your insurance company, and it might get you an extra couple of $1,000s, sometimes even more, sometimes a lot more if it's a high-performance car like a Corvette Stingray, for example. The Stingray we talked about is a $70,000 car. If you had $30,000 worth of damage, that the resale value of that car would be in the toilet. So you want to get some money, especially if it's not your fault. The other thing that we can also help you with is that if you're unfortunate that you've been in an accident and the insurance company is telling you that your car now is going to be totaled, you might not want to settle with them right off the bat. You might want to call Frontier Motors and get a value from us. And what we can do is some insurance companies these days, they don't use the NADA book that we use. Some of them use comps, which are comparables. Well, that's where the price driver comes in. So if they come up with some comparables that are well under the book value, I can maybe help you by giving you some comparables that are higher than the book value, just to make sure that you get the fair value. And we'll kind of show you that also. You get the tax money, you get the tag transfer, you get the title fee, all those little things also they're going to pay you for. So we just want to make sure that you're taken care of. And if we help you do this, sometimes while we're getting the figures together, you're on the lot looking at 300 and some cars, and maybe just by coincidence, we might even have that same car on the lot that you just have totaled, especially if you're in love with it and you want to replace it. Maybe we have the car sitting there and we can replace it with the money that you're getting from the insurance company.
Remember all these free services that we can help you with. I mean, our job, of course, every day to come into Frontier Motors to sell some automobiles, but giving free advice, helping you out with things like diminished value, like just Ivan said, or a value on a car that's been totaled, or maybe a value on a car where you got to go to court, or maybe you're doing your taxes and need some values on cars for depreciation reasons or something like that. Just simply call Frontier Motors at 436-8080, and we'll give you the information you need to bring with you or the information we can do over the phone. I've done a couple of these diminished values over the phone after getting a copy of the repair facility, the total repair. We've also had some cars that have been totaled. We've actually done it over the phone where we can fax someone that. And remember that if you get your car totaled, some of the insurance companies, I say some, most, you get your tax and tag back. So There's a few things that you got to watch for. Financing, large inventory, good quality cars. But what sets us apart, number one, is we're outside of Car City. You know, we're around the corner from Car City, 2-3 blocks out, and we do things a little bit differently because we believe you don't need all the gimmicks. We believe you don't need the midnight sales. We believe that we don't have to entice you with a payment you can't get, or with a price you can't get, or with a trade-in of $2,500 or more. I saw one that was $5,000 nowadays. We don't have all those gimmicks there. We don't want the gimmicks. We've been successfully we're in our 19th year of business at Frontier Motors. Ivan, Jenny, and I think we started it, and we said we needed kind of a nice little place to retire at, and it's turned into this great, great, great monster that a lot of people have bought cars from. There was a guy there, I got to tell you the story real quick, so we got about 3 minutes. He's bought 9 vehicles from us, and he says, I'm glad you guys came into Pensacola. He says, nothing against the new car dealers. He says, I have some great friends up there in the new car business. I have some great people that live down my subdivision that work up there. He said, but I think you've given me about 4 or 5 years back on my life. He said, I don't have to go and argue with him. I thought it was kind of cute. I didn't make that up. He told me that story. So I said, well, that's kind of neat. So he's 68 years old, and he says, I feel like I'm 60 now that I buy cars from you guys. So I thought it was a cute little story.
Well, we make it really easy, and that's one of the things that we don't touch on enough when we do the show, because a lot of our show, we spend time telling you that we do buy cars. We'd rather buy it from private individuals like yourself than buy them from people out of the area. But one of the things that really sets us apart is our salespeople come in. We have 11 salespeople. They unlock every car every morning. So if you want to come on the lot, like the gentleman Ron talked to, the guy just wants to lounge around. Ron will give him a price list, and you can just lounge around. You can sit in every car. You can adjust the seat. Just make sure that's a comfortable car for you. Our salespeople will get the keys. Within a matter of a short period of time, if that's the car that you want, if you take it for a test drive, when you come back, we're going to have all the figures. We don't have to sit here and negotiate. I had a customer the other day, Ron, that's a prominent businessman, and he says, yeah, you're going to give me a price, and then we're going to have some fun. I says, well, you might have some fun. I'm not going to have any fun, because if you like negotiating, you came to the wrong dealership. Because what I like to do is tell you, here's what the value of the car is. Here's what I can sell it for. Here's what I can give you for your trade, and here's your total out-the-door figure. And I'm doing this long enough to make sure that I'm going to give you such a good price that you're going to be wowed into making a decision. And I'm also going to check all the competition to make sure that I have a price, the best price. And we do this in a short period of time. So you can feel confident that when I give you the price, that the price is going to be a good one where you don't have to shop at 25 different dealerships, where you can say, that's a fair price. I'm going to go ahead and buy the car. And we always kind of snicker a little bit that our salespeople don't sell cars. People buy cars from us, and there's a big difference between that.
227 people bought cars from us in January. And you're right.
That's a lot.
The hagglers are down here. The non-hagglers love our system. Sometimes they got to haggle a little bit. Like I say, we're never going to really lose a deal over 100 or 2. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to YouTube. Every time we have a new show like we got right here, you can watch Ivan and Ron. Man, how exciting can that be?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it could be something else,
That's
It could be Don Parker. They stole all that extra time.
Here.
But make sure you subscribe to Facebook. Like us on Facebook. There's a lot of interesting things. Scott Ford actually put a couple of nice cars on there the other day. Don Curd put some cars on there.
They're putting videos on there.
Yeah, you put some videos on there.
We're getting into the electronic world.
You think we're really getting in the electronic world? Thanks for listening. Remember, everybody drives a used car.
Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.